In today's video, we're going to talk about auto repo debt. We have a portfolio that is available, not me, that was sent to me by a debt collection portfolio company. I'm on their list. I am not a debt collector. I want to make it clear. I am not a debt collector. Now, this is Extern Auto. Uh, I believe Extern is one of the subprime auto lenders that is out there. The principal amount is $6.9 million, 307 accounts, 22, uh, 22,726 is the deficiency amount, and the average charge-off date is 2015. uh, or they got the charge off date of 2015. So a lot of this debt is potentially past the statute of limitations for most states. In my state of Wisconsin, it is past the statute of limitations. In your state, you need to check that. So let's talk about what you would need to do if you received a letter in the mail from a debt collector who has purchased your auto repo deficiency debt. Step number one is that you need to check the statute of limitations for your state on collecting debt that has not been where you wasn't sued and it has not became a judgment. All of this debt is just open-ended debt, charged off debt that no one has taken anyone to court to collect on it. Now, you might live in a state where the statute of limitations is more than this is 8 years. Yeah, this would be 8 years now, getting ready to go on 9 years. There are a few states that have a 10 year, and some states have one state, I believe, has a 15-year statute of limitations. You can go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com, to look at the state statute of limitations. I'm going to take you there real quick. Okay, so on my website, all you have to do is go to the bottom of my website, thecreditrepairshop.com, and at the bottom, click blog and type in statute. You will see the search bar. But you can see here for the statute of limitations, so you got Illinois, Indiana, 10 year. So this debt would actually be able to be collectible there, but I'm going to hold on. I'm going to tell you what you'll be able to do. Kentucky, 15 years, Louisiana, 10 years, Missouri, 10 years, Ohio, 15 years, and West Virginia and Wyoming, 10 years. So there are some states that have a longer statute of limitations, so you have to be aware of that. So first you check the statute of limitations for the debt. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the envelope of how they sent you the demand letter. They have to send a demand letter. They can't just try to sue you right away. They can't even try to just put this on your credit right away. So they have to send a demand letter. If you don't respond to that demand letter, you're going to be allowing them to place that information on your credit reports. If you respond to the demand letter, so first thing is you want to make sure that on that demand letter that it was not sent by a third party, unauthorized third party to see your private information. The ways that you can look at that on the envelope is to see if it came from an address from a third party. You can look that up. You can look up the bulk mail meter stamp. Some of the times that will show it. Or you could just challenge it straight with the debt collector and say, in your debt validation that you're going to do with them, is that you would actually say that you would include in there that they shared your information with a third party. But I admit that it can be difficult to prove that with the documentation, but the debt collector, when you send that letter to them, they're not going to really know that. When you send your debt validation, you include that in there, they're not going to really know that you don't know, but they know what they did do. And don't worry, I'm going to give you the letter for the statute of limitations. I'm going to give you the letter for the debt validation. Don't worry about that. So if if that checks out where it's not past legal statute of limitations, you send your debt validation letter to them and you include in there that you believe that they shared your private data. with an unauthorized third party by mailing through an unauthorized mailing service, you could just include that in there and see what they come back and say. But if you do not send that debt validation and put it on record, they will be able to put that information on your credit reports. Listen to me. They will be able to put that information on your credit reports, and then you're going to be dealing with it with dealing with the debt itself and dealing with it making your credit score go down, dealing with it as a collection account on your credit reports. It's just going to open up a whole can of worms. And if you're looking at these balances, it says the average balances on these is $22,726.85. Just imagine waking up the next day and you got a collection on your credit reports for $22,000. You don't want to have that happen to you. So you do your debt validation and you want to see what they respond back with. Now, in this debt validation, this is where you're making them prove what they are sending to you. They're going to probably try to send a statement or something of the sorts. But here's what they don't want you to know about when it comes to these automobile deficiency balances is that they must get all of the information from the original creditor, which would be the auction statement. And that's going to show what the vehicle sold for. Any fees or anything that was added on there, you have a right to get your original contract. Maybe there were some issues that you had with the company. You it could have had insurances where the extern, because they deal with a lot of subprime customers, that they had some type of payment insurance for them. Maybe they had some type of insurance to pay the vehicle off, which is rare now, but in the past that was something that they did have. But there was uh, uh, credit insurance plans where they could get certain payments. So you would just want to make sure that the amount is correct, that they've proven that they can come after you for the amount by making sure that they've done a full debt validation. You want to see if they purchased the debt from another debt collector. Like this is a portfolio company that bought the debt. So they're actually not just a third party. They're whoever buys this debt is going to be like a fourth party. And what if there's a fifth party? When there's a third party, it's hard for them to verify the debt with the original creditor because they won't be able to. The original creditor doesn't want to have anything to do with them. And then if it's a fourth or fifth party, they can only verify from the party that they bought the debt from. They can't go to the original creditor and say, hey, we bought this debt from such and such debt collection company, and they bought it from such and such portfolio company. So can you give us the information so we can prove everything to go after this person that's whose name is on this debt? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But it happens all the time because people do not challenge this stuff the right way. They're not educated on how to do it. They're not educated on why you need to do it. They're just running from the debt. Is it all people do is they just run from the debt? And I'm not criticizing anybody because there was a time in my life that I had this type of stuff, and I had to face it, face those fears head on because that's the only way that you're going to get rid of all of this stuff. All right, just like I said, I'm going to get you those letters, but let me run through my offer real quick. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. That's the way we repair credit. If you can't fit in that way, please choose another company. If you need your credit report scored, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports in all three scores. You're going to need that to be able to know what you need to do for cleaning up your credit. If you have debt collectors come after you, like this one right here, grab my statute of limitations letter, debt validation letter, and cease and desist collection activities letter. Now, if your debt is past the legal statute of limitations, all you have to do is send the statute of limitations letter that I give you. You don't have to do anything else. No debt validation, no nothing else. Don't open those doors. Listen to me when I tell you what to do. That's all you have to do, and it will stop them from coming after you for that debt. Next, if it is not past the legal statute of limitations, I want you to send the cease and desist collection activities letter. And specifically, if you have debt, auto repo debt, I want you to add the additional information that I said in this video. If you didn't write your notes, rewind this video and write that additional information inside of that letter that I give you. And then if they come back with, hey, we are still trying to come after you, we got a few documents or whatever came with them with the portfolio, I give you another debt validation letter to go back and forth with them. It will get this stopped. Trust me, it'll get it stopped. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel. Please post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com.